You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV Smash After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV Smash After Show.
Hey, everybody. Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another podcast for Smash Season 1, Episode 13, Tech, also known as the kissing episode.
Yeah.
The
Am I right?
infidelity episode.
Oh my gosh. Well, there was kissing that wasn't infidelity kissing, but it was the kissing episode. I am Tamara Berg. I'm joined here in the studio by Kristin Carole, right here. Kendra Kabasele, right there. Sarah Mendoza.
Over here.
And Ronnie Jr. in the booth.
Hello.
There was much screaming and yelling going on by all of, I'm going to say you, because you guys were yelling more than I was.
Well, it was terrifying. Sorry.
We were devastated.
Yeah.
I thought you'd be yelling about the whole Dev thing, which we'll get into.
Yeah,
a
we
little later.
will. We will.
Yeah, it was killing her softly.
It was. I'm not very vocal when I'm watching TV. I actually really, because I want to hear every word, which, as you'll notice, I kept backing up and backing up and backing up whenever it
Tammy,
Sorry, we were
I'm
so loud.
I'm so excited to hear about the episode, and of course,
there.
we're gonna get to
ready.
iTunes. No, real quick, I'm gonna send
Okay.
Marissa in there to kind of work on Kristin's microphone as you
okay.
tell me what's going on.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say, if you are watching us on iTunes, please rate and comment on our shows. Tell a friend about them, and you talk because we got things going on here we maybe don't want people to see.
Yeah.
Ronnie,
Yeah,
you want to keep
and
going?
there's a lot going on back here too, but I will jump in. All right, iTunes, we do like
just
you guys to
realizing.
rate and comment. Smash is obviously a great show. We know that it's going to season number 2. The important thing is that we continue to support AFTERBUZZ by doing the rating and commenting and everything, telling a friend, retweeting the whole deal.
We're having a nice conversation, some of us, with one of our fans on, I think it's I can't remember if it's via Facebook or via the email.
I think it's email.
It's an email to
And
us.
actually, I'm gonna just talk about that right now. This is our fan called Networker who calls us smashing. He doesn't know about you yet because he or
I'm a newbie.
she. I actually don't know if it's a man or a woman. But this is the fan who recommended that we watch
Norma Jean
and Marilyn,
which we watched.
and he calls us smashing ladies. I'm gonna say it's a he.
Yes.
Smashing
go with
ladies.
that.
Says that I caught last week's podcast and was happy to hear that you watched Norma Jean and Marilyn. I'm sorry you found it so depressing.
I know.
And he says,
It was
or she
heavy.
says, after listening to your comments about other projects in which Smash cast members have appeared, I decided to make a couple of suggestions to keep your spirits up, which I thought was incredibly kind.
that was nice.
Do not watch Dev in the first season of the British series Mistresses. His story will make you cry, and I think you all like him too much to watch what he goes through. And I clearly can't see that because
Yeah.
it will terribly break my heart.
Especially after this week.
I
we're
know.
crying already. We don't need more of that from
Right.
him.
On the other hand, watch Jack Davenport, who plays Derek in the British series Coupling, which was a great show. They tried to do it in the U.S. and it did not work at all.
Yeah.
But it was a great show, and I didn't remember that he was in that. The show was written by Stephen Moffat, the current showrunner and head writer for Doctor Who and Sherlock. Oh, are you guys watching Sherlock?
No, but I've
On
watched
PBS?
Doctor Who.
Sherlock on PBS, I think that's what the one that he's talking about is fantastic. And Davenport is hilarious in it. So look for those on probably BBC America, a lot
Yeah,
of
let's
those.
see if we can get those on online or on DVD.
Because those are fun. And other fans who like the actors might want to do that. So thank you very much for writing
Thank
into
you.
us
Yes.
and letting us know.
We love hearing from you.
So let's talk about Dev and Karen, the big story of this episode.
Talk or
whole
cry
season.
about them. I'm not sure which one to do.
Or whine about them. I feel
What
like
a
whining
mess.
about them.
Yeah, well, first off, Frickin' RJ shows up. RJ, who Kendra says doesn't have a home because she doesn't have a phone or a home because she's always
just home
very
wrecking.
available at any
Right.
time. Right. Exactly.
And isn't that a turnoff? It should be a turnoff.
That she's homeless.
She's always.
Yeah.
But I guess in his case, because Karen's never available. It
Right.
works.
Right.
Anyways.
And she's like, because Karen's not giving him any attention right now, and he's pouting on his end, needing something from
And
someone.
this is so ridiculous because he's been great, awesome cheerleader from the very first episode, talking about what a superstar she is. You're amazing. Don't get down on yourself. He's been a fantastic support, right?
Right.
And then he loses this job. She goes out of town for a little bit. All of a sudden, he crumbles into a crybaby.
Well, because it was a slow progression. She wasn't reciprocating. So it kind of took its toll. And
Well, he wasn't talking to her either. I feel, in a relationship, it's 50-50. He needs to voice when he's having problems. And, she
but
needs to also...
And
he
oftentimes
tried.
when a couple is not fighting, there's something wrong.
Right.
Because they're not being honest about something.
Right.
No, but he tried. Remember, he kept, and then he flipped the script and asked her what's wrong with her. And then when it came his turn, he's like, oh, nothing. You know, so, I don't know. And that should have been her cue to say, well, no, tell me. I'm listening. I'm all ears.
Yeah, it definitely should have been. It should have been, but it didn't
then
go
this-
that way. And then conveniently, pretty RJ is there ready to pick up the pieces with her bottle of whiskey because she heard he was sick.
And how did she hear
Let's
he
get
was
you
sick?
drunk.
Oh, maybe at work. How did
Because,
she
well,
know?
he didn't go to
Yeah,
work.
because he didn't go to
Yeah.
work.
So
Because he was
she-
taking a personal
I'm
day
sorry,
to go see
Right.
I'm investigating every piece of.
And he
How did
opens
she
the
know?
door. She's got the booze, and
And wait.
Kendra calls it.
Kendra goes, don't say come on in!
And lo and behold, he says, "Come on in."
Had she been to their house before?
Yeah, she was there
Yeah,
that
she
one
showed up.
time. And
When Karen came home,
I'm
conveniently.
trying to find some loophole into how, she like GPS, Google mapped his.
No, she can't, though.
or
She doesn't
Bing,
have a phone.
sorry, Bing.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a
Oh,
phone,
right.
though.
Oh, she
has a
did, and she
computer
just
at
hid it in
work.
the bathroom.
Right.
That one quick scene. We did
know.
see two phones.
In the bathroom. Sorry.
So relatively early on, they kiss, and then I stopped the recording right then to say that's why right before they kissed, they're gonna kiss, and that's why he's gonna propose, and that's
Yep.
exactly how it
Yeah.
went.
Yeah.
Guilt
Guilty.
flowers.
Guilt flowers.
Roses.
He's trying to overcompensate.
Yes,
the
clearly.
problem with the kiss was that she initiated, but then he
Yeah.
reciprocated.
Yes, he
And-
did.
Yeah, because he pulled back at first and like, oh, maybe there's
Yeah,
hope,
there's
and then
hope.
he goes in for more. And
Yeah.
it
He was
was
like, "Oh."
not good.
It went on way too long. It wasn't forgivable. Like I could see if she went in for it and then he was like right then and there like, wait, I
stop,
can't do
I
this.
can't, yeah.
But he continued on for at least 10 seconds. It seemed like it
Like
felt like that at
hours.
least.
He should have taken a page out of Eileen's book and like thrown the drink in her face. Get out.
She's like, where's the martini?
Where's the
probably would've
martini when
liked
you
that,
need
though.
it? Yeah, she probably would have
She
taken
would
it
have taken it
as
as a sign like,
exactly.
Ooh, you want me
It's
to
on.
drink some more?
Exactly. Well, so then he shows up in Boston unexpectedly. I wanted to surprise you. Well, I'm
Guilty.
surprised. Now, have you been in a theatrical production, a live theater?
Yes.
Okay. You know what tech's like, right?
It's crazy.
Explain.
You pretty much there's nothing. You don't have time to sleep. You don't have barely any time to eat. Everybody's cranky. There's
It's
so many
incredibly
changes.
painful too.
And you're just long
Standing
hours,
there
right?
most of the time, it's more tiring doing nothing than doing something. And the whole time, it's not about the actors there. It's about the stage and the lights. And
But you have to be present. You have to know,
Exactly.
like, because there are sometimes blocking changes that happen at those moments.
Right.
And so you have to be as much on top of your game as you can be. It's incredibly exhausting. It's really painful. It's
So it's like
awful.
a lot of hurry up and wait, right?
yeah.
Because they keep setting up.
You
for
have
new
to be there the
scenes.
whole time too, because they'll just call you for 2 seconds for something.
and you've got to be ready like that. It's awful. It's awful. It's the worst part of being in a live production.
Yeah, and I think they presented that accurately within the episode. Karen's just so flustered throughout tonight.
Right. And this is an
Even
an
without that
out of
bad
town Broadway preview. So these are high stakes going on. And once again, I can't believe that Dev wouldn't have a sense of how much pressure she's going through and have at least a little bit of sympathy. But I know what the argument's going to be. Well, he's guilty and he doesn't even care about what's
That's
going on with
exactly
her.
he's
just
not
going to be.
he's not
Right?
thinking about her at all.
I knew it. I saw you.
Oh my
I saw
gosh.
it coming out of your mouth.
Tried to tuck it back in.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let it out. Let it out.
He's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. So he shows up and proposes to her. And
In the most awkward way possible.
well, it sounds
too.
like he's going to break up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's like,
Because
he's
I've
like,
been thinking of things, and I want you to know I
you
love
haven't
you.
been there, you were out of
But-
time,
yeah.
but you know, I don't know what I'm saying, but here's a ring.
yeah.
Will you marry me?
Even if she was gonna say yes, it was his vibe that I think threw her off. So she can sense.
It
Well,
didn't seem.
her intuition.
If
was
that were to
probably
happen
telling
to
her.
me, I would say basically what she said. But the thing is that he's clearly not coming from a partner place or a loving place.
Right.
What he is coming from, she may not know, but he's coming
it's
from a place
off.
that's selfish.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I need this. I've given up a lot for you, and I want you to tell me, that I'm okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think she sensed that. She couldn't put her finger on it, but it was just kind of like, I'm in tech.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I
Yeah.
thought was a
It was like-
hilarious answer. I'm in
Yeah.
tech.
Yeah, that was funny.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I'm in tech.
It's not
She
a
just
sorry.
kept
yes or
repeating
no.
herself.
Yeah.
He's like, is that a yes or a no?
She's like, nope, just tech.
yeah.
And then after that, when he finally catches up with her, he says, I've sacrificed so much for you to be in this stupid show, was his direct quote.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that he thinks he's
Dude.
sacrificing
called it
so
brilliant.
much for just being a boyfriend, though, that's where I got the sense where his character, he feels caged because he can't kiss RJ freely. So that's why he's saying he's sacrificing things like kissing RJ and doing whatever he wants just to be with her, even though she's so busy with all these other things in her life. So he feels like it's unfair because she's doing everything she wants. He wants to do something else, but he can't because he's in this relationship with
Well,
her.
I think the biggest problem for him is that his work is not going well. I mean, really, because that's where that's where men get their validation. They feel powerful. They have relationships with other people that are validating, and nothing's working for him at work, and so he can't. He's like lost his moorings.
Yeah.
And while his work is going down, hers is picking up,
Yep.
and she's getting attention, and not
Yep.
only the Maryland thing, but also the album, and the fact he probably still feels a little weird about the whole Derek scenario. And she didn't do that with Derek, but he did it with RJ.
Throw on top of that the fact that the person that is helping him helping find him jobs is RJ, the his superhero for the day, I guess, in his career world. So that's probably
Right,
also
and
what's fueling why he's eyeing her or something.
And he sees her all the time.
Yeah.
He spends all of his work time, or at least part of all of it, because she sits on his file cabinet all day long, right next to his desk.
With
she
a
has
bottle
no
of
a desk
booze.
or a home.
She doesn't need groceries.
Doesn't need groceries.
But,
No, she's fine.
Well,
Just
but had
booze.
Karen showed that extra effort, I don't think he would have paid attention to RJ. If she
Way
had-
back when?
For example, even today when she said, I don't have a minute, like she checked in with the, supervisor, and she said, oh, you don't have any time. Had she said, well, I'm going to take 5, or, stood up to that, I think he would have felt a little more.
When you're in theater and you're that low on the totem pole, you can't say that. You say that,
No,
and
but
you're out
that's-
on the street, and
but
you're not
it's-
making that much
it's a
anyway.
show, so I think
But what she could have said was, sweetie, I'm really sorry. This is an impossible time. I'm so happy you're here.
that's true.
I'm
But
happy to
same
see you.
thing.
These
Right.
flowers are
That's
beautiful,
what I
but
mean.
I really have to go. I can't wait to see you till later, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
But she's out of her
same.
mind because she's
But
in
even
tech.
even saying 5 minutes, I would have shown him that she's, even if it was rude to the supervisor, he would have seen that she was doing it for him.
Do
Yeah.
we think that Karen is maybe not as in love with Dev as we thought she was in previous episodes?
I think that's a really good question. What do you guys think? Kendra? Do you think she's falling out of love with him?
I don't think so. No.
No.
I think she's just preoccupied with her career.
Kristen?
I tend to agree with you with that. I think there's just so much going on that she's being a little bit, not, and this can sound so negative, but a bit selfish in the fact that her career is starting to pick up. And that really does weigh a lot on you. And I don't think her feelings for Dev have changed. But I think, as women, or as anybody, you can sense when something's wrong with someone you're so close to. So he's pulling away and she's noticing that. And on top of it, she's got all this other stuff going on. It's a lot.
If she is falling out of love with him, they're not portraying it, which the way the writing goes in the show, in the next 5 minutes, she could be, having an affair with Derek. I don't know. Hey, Ronnie, do you have anything you want to say right now?
Hello. I can. What I want to say, there's tons of things I want to say because you guys are talking really, really good about this show. I know a lot of Smash fans appreciate that, but I will tell you about the AfterBuzz affiliate program with Amazon. The reason I really bring it up, is because I do get a lot of comments as far as, we like AfterBuzz. We know that you guys do the show for free, in the sense that we don't make anyone charge, to download the shows.
Right.
So
They're
So it's like, what can you do to help AfterBuzz? So there is actually something when you are making your online purchases. Let's say in the past, 2011, you would go to Amazon. That's how you would do it. Now do it through AfterBuzzTV.com, and while you're doing that, you hit the little banner on the top, which is next to Maria Menounos' Dancing with the Stars
and
banner.
Her pretty face.
And her pretty face, yeah. Click that banner and then go ahead and go to Amazon like you would normally do. Everything that you would do normally to make a purchase, now AfterBuzz gets hooked up a little bit too. So
Sweet deal.
it's just a little hookup for us, and it continues to keep the studio looking as good as it is, and the host is as pretty as they are.
I don't know.
Not me, you guys.
The eye cream that I buy on Amazon through AfterBuzz is what helps me like the way I do, but I don't know about the rest of it. But yes, do make your Amazon purchases just through that little link. It looks exactly the same as your regular Amazon purchases do. It just gives us a little bit of help. So if you can do that, we appreciate it. I want to talk about Julia now. She's kind of been, she was much more featured in this episode than the others. There were things happening, but she was really, standing strong and making her point known this time. So what happened is DiMaggio quits. The guy who's playing DiMaggio quits, and they figure they have to call Michael Swift back because the show's going to open in 3 days, and he's the only guy who can do it. She flips out.
Understandably so.
Yeah. Completely flips out. She's still in New York. The company's in Boston, and she just freaks. So, what do you guys think about that? How it all went? So you think she was right on to freak about it?
I think so. I mean, she talked with her husband, and they're in a better place. And if you trust each other, it shouldn't be a problem. On the same token, you don't want to invite anything that brings back a bad memory, whether or not
or a
it'll
bad
change
opportunity.
Yeah.
It's
true.
Seriously.
He could sing and it could all be over again.
Right. He'd just sing to her and
that sofa comes
she
back
melts.
and you're in trouble.
Right.
Yep.
That should be the the stipulation.
He can't sing to you.
Yeah, change the couch.
You need to be in the other room when he sings.
And the couch cannot be
She
leather.
needs to be locked underneath the stage while that's happening.
Get her some earplugs.
Right?
Well,
No, I agree. I agree that she, rightfully so, like you said, she would have freaked out for that reason. And I like the way that she handled it. At least she tried everything she could to find another option.
Right.
Although, in the end, maybe Michael Swift is the right choice at this point since, the first showing is only 2 days away.
Right.
But at least she's trying to look for another option because she's thinking about her family first. So I actually thought that she made the right decision.
Kendra?
I agree with both views, but I also agreed with Eileen that she brought it upon herself.
Yeah.
It wasn't the production's problem, so in a sense she needs to kind of just suck it up and be professional. And now that everyone is privy to everything, she can just go about her business, be the part she needs to be, and
Right.
And
I definitely saw both sides of the problem here.
Yeah.
Because she needs to she's made a choice to preserve her family, to not invite this problem back into her life, and to make that a priority. But by the same token, it's kind of unprofessional for her to go, you can't do what's good for the production because it's not good for my personal life.
Right.
So I thought it was a good quandary to bring up because I have a lot of Libra in me, so I could see both sides of the story.
I was a
and
little
I'm not a
mad
Libra,
though.
and I see both sides.
Nobody ended up taking her recommendations to call anybody. I don't know if that's because they don't have any phones, but she gave out a
probably
list
that.
of names
Yeah,
of
yeah.
different actors. And I didn't even see Tom. I was kind of disappointed in him a little bit more this episode. And I know we talked about how much we all love him,
Right.
but he didn't stand up for her as much as he usually does, and how he probably should have, or tried to make more of an effort to look for another person.
He was really in a tough position too, though,
Yeah.
because he was there. in the middle,
yeah.
in the geography of all of this happening.
Yeah.
They were putting him literally between the two opposing forces, and he was trying to do what's best for the show while preserving his friend and her life as well. He was in a tough spot, I thought.
But he could have mumbled like he usually does and said, "They want to bring back Michael Swift. I gotta go," and then hang up. You know.
Yeah.
I could have seen that happening.
He was just probably nervous to break the news to her at that point because he's hearing about, Frank moving back home. Things are going well.
Right.
Oh, crap. Is what I'm about to tell her
Gonna
the thing
ruin
that's
it
going to
all.
ruin it now again? So he didn't want to be that person probably just in that moment.
Right, right. And we don't know that they didn't necessarily call those people and just didn't show us, because that absolutely could have happened.
Ellis was on.
Also, how
Yeah,
he was doing it.
is
in
it
the-
pretty
So it didn't
realistic,
work.
with 2 days before a show? Can they actually replace actors
Yes.
at that point?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Wow.
Because they would have had to, right?
Yes.
They needed a DiMaggio.
That's why they have
Wow.
understudies,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And,
That's tough.
again, Michael Swift was the logical next choice, as opposed to the three other people that Julia mentioned. He was very logical next choice because he'd done the role for quite a
knows the
while to
part.
this point. But I appreciated how she really stood firm. And she kept saying, look, here's the deal. Don't do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to quit.
Right.
And then Eileen talking to Nick and saying, what if she, here's what's happened if
Yeah.
she quits. And that is a big mess.
I know.
Goes to
Right.
court.
Yeah.
Show's dead.
Yeah.
Tom would maybe quit too, is what she was saying, because they come sort of as a
They're a
package
team.
deal.
They're a team.
Eileen
yeah.
wasn't too worried though, because she had she had other plans.
She
that
did.
evening.
I thought that was so cute, didn't
I'm
you?
sorry, that was funny.
I thought it was adorable.
It was.
Nick, I'm closing early. Yay, Nick!
That was funny.
Yay, romance!
They were cute.
Appropriate romance.
Right,
There are
exactly.
wines on this show.
And within the Julia story, didn't you like the way that Frank and how it resolved in the end with Frank and Leo saying,
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
That was cute.
They have 2 weeks off for spring break. It's
Well,
perfect.
and that was fantastic. That was a great solution. Hey, road trip. We're all
Yeah.
going to Boston.
And that was very not selfish of Frank for him to separate the relationship, their personal
Right.
thing that they went through from her career.
Exactly.
And her career
That's what Leo said.
advancement.
We're not going to let you quit your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good.
So the son was supportive too. I thought that was a really cute scene.
Yeah.
Well, and Frank saw her fighting multiple times, so she's not just yelling
So he
about
knew
it.
like she was still sorry. It's not that she's going back and maybe wants to see Michael Swift.
Right.
She really exhibited that she
Right.
was sorry for what she had done.
And she wasn't going to go. She had a banana and peanut butter ready to go to
I'm
stay
here.
home.
She was-
I'm
she
gonna
was-
wallow in my
Yeah.
She was
disappointment.
in bed and not moving. That's very true. Very true. So just to talk about Tom a little bit, Tom and Sam, the Tom and Sam story.
Yes.
Tom goes to Sam's house for dinner.
He meets the parents.
Yeah.
Big
That was
step for
serious.
him.
Yeah.
I didn't get why he was so anti-dancer.
Oh
Tom.
yeah, that was weird.
He's
Is
in
it-
that world. He's friends with Ivy. He's friends with Sam. He's friends with all of those dancer people. And what he was saying made logical sense. And maybe he's becoming relationship guy all of a sudden and trying to think about what's going to happen in 20
Right.
or 30 years. But
I think part of it was just exaggerate, trying to accommodate the father, trying
Right.
to win his
Could be.
Approval.
Yeah, I didn't think. He may have had those thoughts, but he's just kind of egging him on until he's at a meet the parents dinner.
Right,
So
right.
Right.
I don't,
And
that
also,
might be-
maybe he's just stressed out from all the crap that's happening in
Yeah.
the last days before
There's a lot going
the
on.
opening.
So he's
just
like
like, you know what?
anti-dancers.
Is this industry really worth it when it comes to these kind of moments?
right.
So probably maybe he's just stressed.
He should have just gone up to Sam and be like, I'm sorry, it's tech. It's not
I'm sorry. I'm in tech.
Say no more. I understand completely.
I'm gonna use that every day now.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, sorry, officer. I'm in tech.
I'm in tech. I bet it works.
Yeah, I know.
It was, yeah.
I'd be like,
You all let me know.
Okay.
If we have a bad day here, we can just tell each other.
Yeah.
We're in tech right
I'm
now.
in tech. I'm in tech. So next we have Derek and Rebecca.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm
Tell
sorry.
it,
I'm
sister.
still yelling about it because just when I was thinking there was some redeemable qualities about this guy, I was even saying,
Right.
"Oh my gosh, Derek's actually a director in this episode." episode.
He's a sociopath.
He goes and he does the, I guess it's thinkable, what Derek would do.
Thinkable.
And he sleeps with
Rebecca.
movie star.
Rebecca.
Yeah. Rebecca
We
Duvall.
assume that's what they're doing behind closed doors.
We could
With
kind of
all
hear
the-
something. Yeah, there was
I mean, they were
some
giggling.
banging
They could have been on a phone.
on the
Maybe that's
furniture.
hammering something.
Right.
with excitement.
Well, but it was just sad how Ivy had to find out.
Yeah,
You know?
like my heart literally broke for her. She was getting so excited because he said, "I love you,"
Right.
to her. in
What
this
would I do
episode.
without you?
That's why I love
Even though that was
you.
a little sarcastic.
It
I
was-
think that's when she was like, did he?
Yeah.
What was that? You know, that's when I think it started to turn. into,
His tone
Where she was
for
starting
all
to wonder
those-
what was going on
And
with
this
it.
Yeah.
is the only time, though, in a long time I was rooting for Ellis because I was like, "Yeah, you guys go up there and you catch Derek. you be in that corner when something bad happens and tell on him." But they don't even get to. They don't even show, any retribution for what Derek is doing. Like she doesn't get
Not
to go
yet.
in there and say, "Hey." She doesn't get to go in there and snap her fingers and say,
Not yet.
"I caught you," and we're done.
I think we'll
She'll
see
get
something the
hers.
next episode
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm pretty
Ivy's
sure.
not going to
I'm
be
hoping
quiet.
Yeah.
that. Oh.
Yeah, they
Well,
can't just leave it like
Yeah.
that.
He always, I'm a Derek fan. Again, I think I said that last week, but there were signs that could have gone that way. Not to
Yeah.
say shame on her because
Right.
it's not. I think it's terrible no matter what.
Yeah.
But for her to be completely surprised, which I don't think she was
No, 'cause
at
they,
all.
They showed those flashbacks of him
Exactly.
touching the other girl, and yeah.
You could tell.
Totally wanted it
that way.
too, Mrs. Let's sing happy birthday
Right,
on
that was
stage
surprised
to
by that.
Derek.
That I wanted to talk about was Rebecca's, her arc, that because she was really kind of down in the dumps by the end of last week's episode. They've discovered she can't really sing. She was partying more than she was working. The beginning of this episode, she wasn't even playing the part. Ivy was standing in for her. And then Derek says to her, "You're luminous,
I wrote
like
that
Marilyn
down.
was luminous."
Oh my god.
And
Time to pull out the star,
Yeah.
right? The superstar that you are, or the movie star, or whatever it was he said.
And you could tell he was falling because he said, quote, "She doesn't sweat, she glows."
I don't think falling is
Sorry.
the word.
I don't either.
Well, you know what I mean.
I think
He
he's in
was-
love with Marilyn Monroe, and anybody who exhibits those qualities
Right?
ends
Yeah,
up
'cause it-
making out with and more.
Yeah, I was thinking, wasn't Karen Lumen?
Well, he's just going back to being the manipulator that we've seen in the early episodes
Right.
when we were really annoyed with him.
Because there was some vulnerability in the beginning of this episode too, when she's confiding in Karen, saying, "Oh, I'm so nervous. I don't know." And then she tells
I hated
Derek,
that scene, by the way. It felt
Too much
I know
lipstick.
you all know because that was when I was screaming, going, "Oh, for God's sake!"
You hit the fast forward button.
I practically
No,
did.
I wish you
it
did.
was just. It felt very false to me. It felt.
Yeah.
It felt silly, and I say
Yes.
that too much about this show.
It was the lipstick.
My editorial comment. Oh, and the lipstick. Oh my God, Kendra,
yeah,
you
she
were
kept
funny
doing
with the
this.
lipstick.
Well, it was a long scene, and there was a lot of
There was a lot of lipstick.
there were a lot of layers.
of
Yeah.
lipstick,
It's like, I think we're good on the lipstick. But she may be manic depressive or something.
It
Rebecca?
seems like there's
Yeah.
something going on with her, as we see
Yeah.
in the previews too for next episode.
She was really manic this episode, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why she
Well, she's
acted the way she did.
vulnerable. She doesn't know if she's good enough. She's questioning her, her playing Marilyn, and then Derek comes along and is assuring her, "Yes, this is for you because you are luminous and all these sweet nothing things." And of course, it's gonna get to her, and she's gonna start believing in herself and maybe thinking that this guy actually likes her.
Well, I think also it's obvious that he's with Ivy, and Ivy's kind of slowly taken on a Marilyn. She worked her way in their last episode.
Yeah.
So I think Rebecca's placing her claim not only on the show, but on other things that Ivy has.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
And she
maybe
even
Derek
says,
looks more
"Huh,"
appealing.
she says, "I'm gonna start standing in for myself." When they're at the cake.
Yes.
So you're right.
Yep.
She's taking her claim. She's taking it back.
That's right.
I'd like to know more background on Derek. I want to know what his family's like and why he's the way he is. I'm sorry. I know I'm going there, but something's...
Yeah, we never
Well, there's season
learned.
2.
there
You
was-
might get there.
That's true.
We never learned.
may.
I think we said that in like episode 2, and it just never happened.
Well, there was something. Do you remember in the bed episode where
Tom.
Karen was, Tom and Derek have a history, and there was something about Tom's dad. Was it about Tom's dad, or was it about Derek's dad?
Derek's dad
Yeah.
was gay.
That's right.
said.
That's right. So we know a little bit, but not
that's
much.
not
It doesn't
how
really
he
give
was,
it. Yeah.
Teeny tiny
treated
bit,
or
yeah.
It doesn't explain to us why he's such a narcissist and a rat bastard.
Right. What did his family do?
Yeah, we don't know.
It's the Smash writers.
We're going to have to find out.
Yeah.
Finally, I want to talk about music. So the first song was Another Opening, Another Show.
That was
Oh
so
my
cute.
gosh.
Wasn't it so
I
good?
loved the opening of the show. It was so like musical-esque
Right.
for me, but
Well,
that's what I loved.
It's a song from Kiss Me Kate.
Yes, and that's what I loved.
We did that in my musical theater review back in high
Yeah.
school. So if you saw me singing off to the side,
Okay.
lip syncing, I sang.
See a sample, Kristen.
No, but I thought it was beautiful because the camera moves are really great. Getting a little glimpse of what everybody's doing at this point. I liked the semi choreography that was happening in
Right.
Grand Central Station with everybody being excited and going. It was very energetic. Tom's voice was beautiful. Sam giving a little harmony in the very beginning. I loved it. I loved it.
Me
I really
too.
liked
It
it
was
too.
like the real. It was like a real opening for a musical movie or a show, which is really cool.
They brought a little bit of Broadway back.
And I think that song won a Tony Award way back in the 40s when that show came out. So it's a great song, and like you said, a lot of productions use it, a lot of reviews, because it's a great tone setter for that kind of thing. So I thought it was terrific. And then we had Ivy singing "I'm Going Down,"
Mary J. Blige.
right? Which was actually the song was actually from the movie Car Wash from the
I've never seen it.
70s.
That's right, Tamara. It definitely was. I was gonna say that. Gosh, you're so good. Sorry, that's my contribution. I really said much of nothing. Shout out to the chatters. I don't know.
My friend Michael Schultz directed that movie, so that's about all I know about it.
I was so excited to jump in and be like, "Oh, it's from the car wash," but you just said that. Gosh.
Sorry.
But Mary J. Blige
Delayed.
did make it
Projector
big
comments.
in.
So sorry I harshed your mellow.
No, it's okay. You're great. You're wonderful. I love my mellow. What's a mellow?
Don't worry about it.
What about Marshmallows?
We'll give it back to you. What'd you think of the song of
She's
Megan Hilty?
she's awesome. She had that soul in that
Yes.
performance today. Mm-hmm. If you closed your eyes, it would have been you would have thought it was like a black woman singing. Mm-hmm. I thought it was
Yeah,
really
I thought it was
good.
really beautiful.
And you really found the emotion. It matched from right after when she finds out about Derek and Rebecca doing the dirty. Like she's obviously in this in this heartbroken place. So I think she really did well in performing that song.
Kendra, you have something to
it was
say.
good. I mean, it was good. She made it her own. I think I'm just used to hearing Mary J. sing it, so in certain parts I was expecting something and it wasn't there. But I have to set that aside, and I have to say she made it her own, so it was good.
Kristen,
I thought it was a very nice song. It wasn't one of my favorites of the show, but I really liked it. It matched the mood perfectly for it. And Ivy, you could see it was a lot of emotion in there, which I liked to see even more that way. She wasn't conniving. You did feel bad for her in that song.
I have to say, one of the things that I wish they would do more of in this show is more ensemble musical numbers and fewer solo numbers, because the solo numbers are really beautiful and really interesting, but I don't feel like they convey the musical theater aspect of this show when you're just showing solo acts.
Right.
I even if there's one other voice in there, even if it's just a duet, I just think that gives more depth to the music than just here, let's throw in a solo. And
I thought for a second Karen would have jumped in.
Yeah, 'cause they're heartbroken too.
Yeah. But there was no joust.
Yeah,
No vocal joust.
I was surprised that they didn't do something with Karen right after.
Me too. Me too.
It was all Ivy.
Because then what happened after was Ivy goes to the bar.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Not right after, but I mean,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
the next thing that happens with Ivy is she goes to the bar and meets this cute boy.
Who happens
Dev.
AKA Dev.
Yeah.
after?
And Dev knows who she is. She doesn't know who he is.
I think she
No,
knows.
she knows.
Once
No,
she heard his name.
I think she
I
knows.
thought they both didn't know until they knew their names, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
they didn't know.
light bulb
didn't
went
know.
off
Yeah.
in both of their heads.
Because Karen talks about Dev.
That's a pretty
yeah,
unusual
I knew
name.
that way it worked, but I didn't I
Like
don't
that
know
one scene where they're
had,
And Karen talks about Ivy.
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, he would definitely know about her,
then-
but Deb is
so
an unusual name. So.
I know predictions, but so then that didn't make sense. Why would he?
Say nice to meet you later.
No, well, and do other stuff. Wake up. Well, maybe nothing. Maybe nothing happened in the preview.
Yeah, no, I know,
Yeah.
but I'm just trying
I'm
to get
ahead
you to
of
finish
it.
a sentence because you're not
sorry.
finishing a sentence.
No, I'm saying. Yeah, I know. I'm speaking the way.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
thinking,
you're
but
thinking.
No, they wake up together
Right?
in the next morning or whatever.
Yep.
But I'm saying maybe nothing happened. Maybe they just drank too much. And
Oh, something happened.
no,
Let's just face it.
I don't think anything.
The way
happened.
this show is, something happened.
It's just a dream sequence.
Another
It's another one.
Bollywood continued.
A lot of disappointment in this show. That's
don't
what I
think-
know.
No, they're predict.
Yeah, I think before we get ahead of ourselves, we need to take a little break here, and then we will come back with some news and gossip first because we've got some. So let's do that.
AfterBuzz TV. Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
I want to.
Can I say something quickly? Oh. Is that Ivy?
Thanks for downloading my recording, Ronnie.
No, go ahead. You can talk.
Oh, I was just gonna give a shout out to one of our viewers /
Yes.
listeners who's been supportive actually for weeks. I think he's tweeted you too, Sarah.
Not me, though.
Adrian, who is at Watchtower Base. He's watching. He said we're doing great. Keep it legend.
Thank
And,
you.
Wait for it.
Legendary.
That he may call in next week.
Oh, fun.
Outstanding.
So thanks for
Next week
watching.
there are going to be things to talk about.
Yes.
So, with news, the first thing I want to talk about. This is this week's In Touch magazine. We've got Maria
Go, wow.
looking gorgeous,
She looks amazing.
and she's spectacularly
And it says
beautiful.
the ice cream diet. Wow.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, you know, when
Why
you're,
did you read that?
when you're dancing 35 hours a week, you can eat ice cream for dinner.
And she did fantastically tonight.
Oh, she did. It was so exciting.
And she got a
gosh.
perfect score,
First
right?
perfect score of the season
Yeah.
for anyone.
Yeah.
So incredibly exciting.
She deserves it. She's doing great.
So aside from that, we also have in this episode or in this issue, Catherine McPhee doing a look-alike with Kendall Jenner, who is of the Kardashian family.
Very similar. They do look alike.
Isn't that
there.
interesting? Yes. And then we have Megan Hilty doing
Who Wore It
better in the blue dress, and she looks spectacular
won.
in that. She
She
did.
wore it better.
She is
Up against Katherine
in
Heigl.
what is the name of the show she's in? Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, that opens this week, where she plays Marilyn Monroe.
Megan Hilty?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy? On Broadway. It's a revival.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Awesome.
And yeah, so that was, I just thought that was fun to see.
We've got
So-
all our stars in one magazine.
All of our
there.
stars in one magazine and In Touch. Kendra, you have something to tell us.
I
Newsworthy.
do. Let's flash back to several episodes ago. I think we discussed what we thought different show ideas were coming up.
Yes.
And I think I tossed out the idea that maybe a reality show would be in the works.
Yes, you did. I
And-
remember that.
Funny enough, I got a newsletter that had a casting in it.
Yes.
That says they're casting actors who can sing and singers who can act. So basically, there's a new reality docuseries about musical theater, and I have my suspicions
About what show they might be
yes.
leading into.
So it says if you've ever wanted to sing on Broadway, now's your chance of a lifetime. It goes on to kind of talk about, what you need in order to try out. And people can tweet me if they want more information on that.
Very
I'm going
cool.
to tweet you.
Very cool.
You want more info?
I'll just forward you the email.
Oh, I wonder if Catherine McPhee would be the host or something for that show.
That would be
That'd be cool.
interesting.
That would be
You have
interesting.
to have a musical theater background. Well, I mean, that's a plus. It just looks really smash.
It looks very
Smashing.
smashy. It does look very smashy.
Yes.
So I read that Megan Hilty was on a radio show this week, and she revealed that she got her job on Smash after one audition. One audition. She wasn't going to go in because the role specifically asked for, or stated that the character that she was playing, Ivy, was an amazing dancer, and Megan's forts are acting and singing. She doesn't. She's really more of an actress who moves well, is what they say in the business. But her agent convinced her to go. She did her audition on tape. She sent the audition on tape, and usually after that happens, you get a call back. They meet you in person. No, she got the job off of her
the
tape.
That's
Wow.
great.
Off of her taped audition. How about that? So that's inspiration for all you actors out there. It can happen.
Keep sending out those tapes.
And a little bit of Emmy news. It was revealed this week that neither Megan Hilty nor Catherine McPhee will be in the running for Best Actress with the Emmys because they are not going to be submitted in the Best Actress category. They are going to be submitted only in the Supporting Actress category. Deborah Messing is the only actress from the show who is going to be submitted in the Best Actress category.
Which we mentioned is probably because she's a TV.
Right.
Yeah, she's a TV veteran.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's fair, right?
So that'll be interesting. Last year's winner was Margot Martindale, who did one for Justified, and I don't think anybody here watches Justified.
No.
I'm a massive, huge fan of Justified, and you guys should watch it because it's really good. It's got Timothy Oliphant in it, another very handsome man.
Yes.
You know how I like my handsome men. Margot Martindale, it was one of the finest TV performances I've ever seen. It was absolutely spectacular. It brings tears to my eyes just thinking about it because she was so good and so deserving of it. So it will be very interesting to see what happens with the Emmys. Yeah. Okay, I think we should now go to predictions because we're all dying to give them.
Now,
After that preview.
your AfterBuzz TV
I know.
prediction.
I have a prediction that's actually sort of new, so I want to start off with that. There was an interview that I read with Megan Hilty and Catherine McPhee, and the question was, will season 1 end in a cliffhanger? And Megan Hilty says it doesn't end on a cliffhanger, it ends on many cliffhangers.
no.
Every single character has a thrilling moment in the finale. I can't wait to see what happens with all the characters. So we only have 2 episodes left. One more,
So
and then
we're
the
gonna
finale.
Be stressed after the finale until season 2.
And then when does it
That's what
start
that
up
says.
again? Do we know?
It'll be a long time.
Not till the fall.
Start watching something else.
I hate that. I hate too many cliffhangers. I get antsy.
Kendra, you're always the one throwing out your predictions early. So why don't you start us
I don't
off?
know, I always do that. Well, it was
Well, it's
just
natural too because we're talking
Yeah.
about the show. So
Well, it was just the wake up scene with Ivy
Yes!
and Dev, which I predict is going to be innocent. It's too much for him to be kissing RJ and sleeping with Ivy. I think it's just going to be they had too much to drink. They were both wallowing in their sorrows, and they just
Ended up with their clothes off in bed together.
Well, no, but were their clothes
Yeah.
off? I don't think.
Yeah,
they
we saw him
he
shirtless.
was
and-
shirtless, and she
Well,
had her
he was
blankie,
hot,
like
and then
right
she had
here.
a tank top on.
His
It's
things
fine.
almost
No,
hanging out.
We're safe.
well,
Let's hope so.
here's
but I
the
don't
other
think
thing with this show is that there are reveries and there are hallucinations and there
Yes.
are dreams that happen. So they could be just throwing us a big giant red herring and trying to get us to think that
Yeah, and I
sluttiness
think-
happens and it's not.
I think Karen may think she may walk in on that and say what and leave, and he didn't. Sorry, and say what and leave, and there's more friction.
it's a possibility. Should we take bets?
I don't know. I think history is going to be made that night. That's what I think. Oh, pun.
nice
I went
one.
there. Sorry, guys.
Nice one, Kristin.
Good one, Kristen.
Now, what about Rebecca? Rebecca, who looks like we had to go back 5 times to catch who that was.
Yeah.
So it looked like Rebecca has a health crisis of some sort, which they
Right.
actually teased last week too, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly,
I think so.
or 2 weeks ago. I remember that something happening that was a health crisis. Somebody was on the floor,
Oh,
and we couldn't
yeah.
figure out who
It
it was,
happened
and then they
yet.
show it again, and
Yeah.
so
she's not breathing, I think. Karen
yes,
said or
that's right.
something.
That's
Yeah.
right. She's
if-
not breathing.
Yeah.
Of course, that's going to be the thing to bring back the Karen versus Ivy.
Right? Who's gonna
take her
who's
place?
gonna take over
Yeah,
Maryland?
because then in this preview they did say someone tried to poison her.
Yes.
Well,
So
I'm
we'll-
the peanuts.
right.
Oh my gosh, is it
Look
Alice?
at you.
Oh my
Maybe
gosh,
she
what
got
if
into
it's
Julia's
Alice?
peanut
Julia's
butter.
peanut butter. I was gonna say.
She left it
Nutella
out there. She's like,
today.
oh, banana. What is
Yeah.
this?
And she didn't know.
I can't imagine.
How
that's
much you want
gonna
to
be
bet
it.
it's Alice?
I don't think it's Ella. Or maybe
Or
she
maybe
did
it's
it
an
to herself.
accident.
Yeah.
Maybe she did it to herself. That's a great one. I love
Is it
that.
Marilyn? No.
Because she can't handle the pressure.
Yeah.
And
she
she
didn't want to bow out.
doesn't want to bow out.
It has
doesn't-
to
I
be
think that's
something-
excellent.
Okay.
I'm so for that one. Check. That's the one I pick. I'm jumping on that bandwagon.
Okay. Come on, there's room. Come on in.
Okay, ladies, where can we find you?
At Sarah Mendoza, SarahMendoza.
And Kendra.
At Kendra Kabasele, KendraKabasele.
And Miss Kristin Carole.
The Fantosee. Fantosee.
Yes, and you can find me at Tamara Berg. Also, please see my website, tamaracentral.com. We have Ronnie in the booth. He's at Ronnie JR Media on Twitter.
Ronnie.
Tweet us. Give us comments on what is it called? iTunes. Rate us. Tell your friends. Thank you for joining us. We will see you for next week's episode of Smash.
Smashing.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.